Hello everyone. My name is Graceful Shutdown, and I'll be running this here Yu-Gi-Oh game that doesn't really play like a Yu-Gi-Oh game. On my couch with me, I have Top Goat,
Hello. I am allegedly a speedrunner of this game.
a speed space runner. Yep.
I have a run submitted to the New Game Plus challenge mode, and I, had the world record for that for around 2 years until Tenacious Turtle, the new goat, has come in and basically cleaned house.
All right. So yeah. So with all that in mind, we're ready to get started. So as soon as I select the Kaiba story, that's when the timer should start. So with that in mind, here's a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright.
Alright, so we're about to get a rather long intro cutscene, which is unskippable.
Indeed, it's 2 straight minutes of pressing one button. The A button. The best button of all.
A lot of the gameplay will also be doing that. It's great.
Yep. It is. So do you want to explain the plot real quick? Because I'm not quite sure
Sure.
A lot of people know about the plot of this game.
One of Kaiba's former employees has invited Kaiba as well as Yugi and the gang to test this new video game they created, which I think they advertised as being a virtual reality game in which basically you can battle with dual monsters, except more legitimately, I suppose. And, naturally, being the king of games and Kaiba, they all happily jumped in. But this was a bit of a trap.
Lock-in mode.
They have been sucked into the world of the game. So I suppose you could say that this is isekai before it became cool. So now we're playing through the Kaiba side of the story. Kaiba and Yugi both have their own campaigns, which are pretty similar in terms of the overall narrative, but there are some differences in what happens in the Kaiba story versus the Yugi story. So in the Kaiba story, Kaiba starts off as one of the top generals for, I guess, the bad guys, the Empire. And so for the beginning of this campaign, we're just going to be beating down on some rebels who, they're the good guys.
Alright.
You might also recognize their character portraits once we actually get into Mission 1, if you ever played Forbidden Memories. But I will leave it at that for now. Gigor, they are not Forbidden Memories villains. They are villagers. Oh, right. Heishin is a villain, yes, from Forbidden Memories. But here we have, on the enemy team, we now have names for villagers 1 and 2 from Forbidden Memories. Say hello to Malaruka and Giselle. Additionally, you might be hearing this Kaiba laughing and saying Yu-Gi-Oh! So what's going on here is Graceful is inputting the Konami code, and doing so will reward him with money. This is like a cheat code put into the game, and currently there are no separate leaderboards for the game using the code and not using the code, so of course we will be making very liberal use of this code. And what Graceful did there was, by capturing the bottom base with the team that he is not planning to use, the AI will send one of their marshals, in this case, I believe it's Giselle, to capture the base that Graceful took. And therefore, this leaves only Malaruka in the base that we need to capture to win the mission. And so doing this basically allows us to reduce the number of fights we need to take by 1. And additionally, you might notice that Kaiba ran to the base in the north instead of just directly taking a straight line. The reason for this is because there is a roaming encounter in the forest. And if you take the roaming encounter, you will obviously lose a bunch of time. And if you go around the roaming encounter, you actually end up having the fastest route be going through the base, because going through the base effectively allows you to teleport from one side of the base to the other, like when you exit the base. So it gives you a little bit of a bump that ends up making this the fastest path.
Yep. So naturally, I had to spend a lot of time just inputting stuff on a GameCube D-pad. If you have ever played on a GameCube D-pad, you know my pain here, but... Yep. So, anyways, we have Maliruka, I think that's the name, right?
Yep.
Maliruka. Alright. So, basically the name of the game, in order for us to save time throughout pretty much everything in Faslebound, is we want to minimize the amount of times that the enemy team that we're battling here is able to get off any kind of attack. In the early game, like this mission is, the only way we can basically do that is to just kind of target monsters with high attack points. So if you see if you briefly see like the stars underneath the monsters, that's how many actions they have. And this is like the RPG half of this RPG/RTS. Oh, interesting. Are we gonna die?
Yes, and right on cue, Graceful has been critical hit. So crits in this game just deal double damage and will randomly occur from time to time. So, you know, we want to see them happen when our monster is attacked. We do not want to see those red numbers when we are being attacked.
Yep. I've heard them. We've heard them called in some of our groups funny red numbers. They're funny when they happen to you. They happen to the other guys. They're not so funny when. And yeah, they're not funny when they happen to us.
Yes, and so our the team that we've brought into this fight here is basically just the three monsters that we start with 3 actions, and that have the highest attack among the monsters with 3 actions. So they're the ones that can deal the most damage in a single fight, which is really important because you probably noticed how slowly everything was moving on the overworld. So we really want to minimize the number of fights that we have to take.
Sorry, Rakurai, October Sir had to go. I'm sorry. Alright, 1, 2... Nope. Not a single one. There's one. Perfect. We got 1. Alright, so this refight, we basically just kind of go through and try to clean up the best we can. It's very possible that you might have to refight a second time, so for a third encounter, but in general, we hope that doesn't happen, and in a non-marathon setting, if it doesn't happen, we basically just reset.
So I guess I'll get into explaining a bit more about the combat system.
Of course.
So, yeah, so we have turn-based combat with 6 monsters, and the turns are divided into rounds. So every round, every monster will go once, and the order of the turns depends on a hidden stat of these monsters, which is their speed stat. And in typical old game fashion, the speed stat is quite literally not displayed anywhere in the game. And additionally, there is a layer of RNG to determining which monster is going first, just the whole turn order. Which corresponds to taking a range of around 25% around your speed stat and just randomizing over that range. So naturally, plus or minus 25% is a pretty large range, so there will be a fair amount of randomness going on there. And then once it becomes your turn, you have a variety of choices. You can use your basic attack, which is what every action Graceful has done so far has been doing. And then there are specials. So some monsters have a special, most don't. And using your special will often be like an AoE attack or a team buff or something along those lines. But this game might not have been tested that well by the devs because basically every special is unlocked at a ridiculously high level that we will not reach in like a single playthrough of the game. So we will not be pressing the special button.
No, unfortunately not, and we really won't even see the special button until we get into like challenge mode runs in the shorter categories. So.
Yep.
And also I think like New Game Plus stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah. And then we have guarding. So I guess I can go into a bit of how the stats work in this game. So obviously we have HP, and Graceful has already explained the action points. However, the way attack and defense work are just that when you attack, you deal approximately 10% of your attack stat as damage, and that has something around like a 10% damage roll. So like plus or minus 10%. Additionally, if you press the guard button, your character will like try to I guess nullify the next attacks that come to them until their next turn. So if you are attacked while guarding, the game will like subtract the damage dealt from 10% of your defense, and if it exceeds that value, any excess damage will be halved and dealt to you while breaking your guard, which means that you are no longer guarding. And additionally, if the damage does not break through your guard, you will take 0 damage, and like you will continue to guard. So when the next attack comes in, this calculation happens again. Another thing which happens, which is completely never touched upon in this game, is that guarding will quadruple your chance to dodge any attack that comes at you. So this could get really stupid if you have a monster with, say, a very high luck stat, which is a stat in the game that determines your chances of being crit or dodging an attack. Yeah, so as you can see, we can just randomly miss attacks. That's very fun. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Graceful, for demonstrating that on command.
On command, exactly. So, while Goat was talking about the battle system and mechanics and stuff like that, I was doing my first shopping of the run. Basically, we buy a bunch of legendary swords, beast fangs, and Book of Secret Arts. All 3 of those items do essentially the same thing. They just plus 500 your attack power. Your attack power, basically, as it relates to the damage output, is essentially like, it's an order of magnitude more, basically. So, so 5,000 attack does about 500 damage, kind of thing.
Yeah, and so since each equip adds 500 attack, it basically adds 50 damage, but there is also a hidden bonus, which again, you might be catching on by now, the game has... But causes an equip to also add an additional 50 damage to your attacks. So each equip is actually roughly 100 damage. So, 3 equips will basically add 300 damage per attack, and as you've seen so far, our attacks deal like around 150 or less damage, so that's going to be quite a big boost once we get them.
Nah, it's going to take 2 attacks regardless of.
Yes. And what Graceful did just there was he pulled up the info screen. We will not be doing that too often because it just gives information, but yeah, that is an option during battling.
It's free time save on your next PB if you do it.
Yep.
All right.
That is certainly a good way to look at it, Graceful. Let's see, and then we have escaping, which we will do at some point, multiple times in this run. Essentially, it does exactly what you would expect it to do. It lets you get out of the fight. You know, there is an escape formula to determine the odds of it working, but it basically just works.
Yeah.
You do not need to know the details.
And sometimes we use the actual details in the escape formula to just kind of like essentially guarantee that we'll escape in some instances later in the run. But early on in the game, we just kind of go straight to bases, go fight everybody, and do that. Oh, nice critical hit into guard. Okay.
Oh dear. We might be seeing some time loss here. But it's okay.
I'd upgrade Might to probably at this rate.
Well, Rikishin Power did still get his last attack off this fight, so I think it's still like...
Okay, double guard, sure.
Okay, we are getting some time loss because we will now have to wait, as guard only lasts until your next turn, and you will still get a turn when you have no action points, which will cause your guard to run out. Which is what Graceful did there.
One safety guard just to make sure that he's not guarding so I can do full damage.
Yeah. And like, it is often the case that just waiting once won't be enough because sometimes, due to the high variance of the speed rolls, it is possible for a monster to go first in one round and then last in the next, in which case you would have to wait twice before their guard runs out.
Oh, I didn't actually know that part of it, but... Alright,
so yeah.
So yeah, we're just basically kind of going through this and just slowly but surely whittling down HP here. So, unfortunately Ryu did die, but we should still be able to get through this fight no problem.
Yep.
Yeah. Totally forgetting this game exists is totally normal for this very obscure Yu-Gi-Oh game. Because everybody remembers Forbidden Memories. Slightly less people, but still a lot of people remember Duelist of the Roses. And if you had a GameCube, you got this game. But yep. So we just kind of basically go in between.
Oh wait, there was one thing that I completely forgot to mention. So Graceful, the middle monster on Graceful's team here is Ryukishin powered. Sorry. So yeah, another hidden stat is your overworld speed. So, like, every monster has a different speed in the overworld, which is categorized into, like, around 5 different, like, categories. And Ryukishin powered is one of the monsters with the fastest overworld speed. And so, in order to reduce the amount of time spent waiting, we put him in the middle, which is the leader slot. And, you know, use him to get our team everywhere. Now here, we're switching up our team because the guys we had originally, we did not, are not the correct type of monster to equip the equipments that we had purchased. And so we're just putting in a team that can actually use those equips and thus deal a ton of damage. And in this mission, there is a strat that we are not going to be going for in this marathon. But the base on the top left holds black pendants, And Black Pendant is the equip monster for Darklands monsters, which is what this game calls Fiends, which, includes Ryukushin powered. So if we were able to capture that base, we would be able to equip our Fiends, which, will allow us to deal a lot more damage at the cost of taking an extra fight in this mission, as well as having a much more strict requirement on the things that have to happen in this mission, which is the reason why we elected not to do it in a marathon.
Okay. So basically, as far as RTS stuff is concerned, in this mission, we pretty much send Kaiba straight to the base to deal with Pegasus and just win that battle. We send Mokuba to the base on the top left, and he basically just buys a bunch of silver bow and arrows. So silver bow and arrows are an item that does the same thing as Legendary Sword, basically, plus 500 attack, but it comes with an added bonus of never missing any attack. Missing attacks is bad for speedruns, so naturally we go out of our way to go get that item.
Well, we didn't really go out of our way, but...
No, not really. We had time to do it.
We would if we had to.
You're right. But...
Yes.
So, this battle is like the second battle that has enemy monsters with items. Items are slow just purely because you do damage and you want the enemy to die, but of course healing items allow you to heal. So naturally we want to try and focus on and get rid of any healers where possible. So if it hits and the healer's gone, okay, great. The double weight. Okay, interesting.
This looks like an escape angle, wouldn't you say?
I
guess the box only has one, though.
Oh, double weight into guard. Okay. Well, I'll just wait you out then. I guess maybe if I attacked into guard, it would probably be enough that...
It definitely would have been enough.
Oh, it would have been enough. Okay. Well, here's two attack animations just in case. And I get rewarded for it with a crit, so that's just absolutely lovely. Anyway, so yeah, this battle is just expected to be two encounters basically, so it's not too bad as far as time loss is concerned, but
all right. So, the one downside that escaping would have had there is that it forces you into a 5-second stun after you lose a combat at a base. I think in this case we did have 5 seconds of leeway, so it probably would have been fine. But if it wasn't fine, what would have happened is that one of the enemy teams would have hit our main base and we would have had to reset the mission. So it is perfectly understandable that Graceful did not want to take that risk, as...
Alright, perfect. So what I did right there was I just kind of waited Ryukushin, who does just under 200 or so attack damage, and just let one of the more powerful monsters on either side just kind of take that last hit. Just kind of save one attack animation.
Waiting only takes about a second, while the attack animation for Ryukushin powered is 8 seconds or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's around 7 or 8 seconds. Alright, time for another round of
moving on
pressing
with the plot. So we have been battling the rebels for 3 missions now, but well, despite the name of this mission being framed, Kaiba did in fact speak to the rebel leader, and Marthus, the guy who was assigned to help us, has reported this to the Emperor. As a result, we're getting charged with treason here. and so we will be escaping and starting to fight on the side of the good guys against the Emperor.
But I thought that this was the bad ending right here, where Kaiba and Mokuga get executed and what have you for treason. But no, it's all right. Anyway.
Oh yeah, and one thing you might notice is that Kaiba will pick up a rather interesting squad of other marshals to work with, because, well, canonically he doesn't exactly have friends, so the guys that they assign to him are going to be a bit of a mishmash.
It's kind of a who's who of character of the week in the Yu-Gi-Oh! In Yu-Gi-Oh! Parlance, I guess.
Yep.
And then you get Dark Kid. Okay.
Okay, so this is going to be, I think, the only mission where we're actually going to be fighting with 3 teams.
Yep, I believe it's the only one. You're right. Little bit of RTS stuff, setting up A, there.
You might notice that our base is in the middle of the other 2, and so it's not and the win condition for this mission.
Dude, sorry, I think we might have lost Goat there, but anyways, so this is one of the few missions where, like, if your home base gets captured, you don't automatically lose the mission. I think that's what he was trying to say there.
Yes. Is my mic working right now?
Yeah, you're working again.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so the win condition for this mission is to capture all 3 bases, and we are not able to do so like before the enemy reaches the middle. So what Graceful did there was he gave the enemy the middle base, and doing so causes the other 3 enemies who were running towards this base to turn around and go back to the base that they came from. Doing this will buy a bit of extra space between them and the middle base. So now, when we kill this guy and recapture the middle base, and then they turn around again, they will be far enough away from the middle base that we can just take the other 2 and finish the mission without fighting any of those 3 teams that are just kind of running around.
Yeah. So basically what this does is it basically manipulates the AI so that we avoid 3 encounters entirely. Which, as you can imagine, definitely saves a lot of time.
I mean, yeah, just look at how long these fights are going.
I'm just gonna use a brief moment to heal up. I know, time loss, but whatever.
Graceful. This is a speed run.
A speed space run. Alright.
So yeah,
Yep.
This is the mission that having black pendants for would be really nice on, as we're being spread quite thin on monsters, and we have like 1 monster per team that could benefit from it. And well, we're going to be picking up black pendant pretty soon, so our having a low attack Ryukushin our days of having a low attack Ryukushin powered are quite limited.
Okay, so this is an attack from Midnight Fiend, one of the weakest monsters that we have in our arsenal. Doesn't even do 100 damage. And I think that was a good roll for it too.
Yep, these are the things that we do to go fast in the overworld.
Yeah. So this one here, there's no real healers to speak of on these teams, but Illusionary Gentleman on the right, and of course I miss. Illusionary Gentleman on the right has like 4 attacks, so we're just going to want to go after him first to just kind of minimize the amount of attacks that they're able to get off.
Baggy having the longest attack animation of all these monsters and missing is just typical Faslebound Kingdom.
It really is. But at least we got another miss right there.
Yep. So there is...
Soggy's attack animation is literally 12 seconds of just one attack. Meanwhile, there's monsters out there that can attack within 5 seconds. So some monsters can attack twice before Soggy gets one attack off. But we use Soggy because Soggy's a spellcaster. And spellcasters have access to Book of Secret Arts right now. We'll focus the remaining attacks on A. I think I'm gonna do a safety heal with Midnight Fiend because I'm kind of concerned about the HP levels there.
We require 9 monsters for this mission, and only 7 of the monsters that we have access to are able to equip the equipments that we have bought so far. So Saggy being one of them means that despite his slow animation, he is still the best that we have.
But only just, basically.
Really makes you jealous of all those Yugi campaign speedrunners, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
They get all the good stuff.
Okay, got one off just before Mokuba re-encountered at the other base. The RTS on this mission can be a little bit tight, but in general, it's not too bad.
In practice, we did have a run where Water Girl decided it would be really funny if she missed one of her 2 attacks.
Yes, we did. I remember that. Yeah, that was quite something.
As a result, we had to go in for a 3rd fight in this middle base, but thankfully, the time loss there was only like a minute or so. It was not the end of the world.
Yeah. Anyway, so I see a question in the chat, which Kong is my favorite? That would be Swanky Kong. One of the other games that I speed space run is like DKC2, so yeah, definitely appreciate Swanky Kong.
So it seems like we might be seeing that time loss here because Graceful attacked into a guard. Good job, Graceful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you attacked into a guard with Water Girl.
Oh, nice. That's perfect.
We're going into 3 fights, and I guess you can demonstrate the escape button to the crowd.
All right, perfect. We were gonna use the escape button a little bit later, but I guess we can use it now. And then immediately into a Kaiba battle.
So because we were unable to finish off the middle marshal into 2 encounters, what's going to happen is that the Ryukushin powers that turned around are going to end up going back to the base on the right before we get in for the final fight in the middle. But it's okay because we can just hit the escape button and get out of those combats without any issue.
Going for the final hit on Ryu, just to see if I can damage optimize a little bit.
Very optimal, Graceful.
And sure enough, I do. Nice. Boom, boom. So Kaiba has a little bit of an easier time with these enemies with his team as compares to Mokuba.
Yep. Both Kaiba and Bones here have access to 2 monsters with equips. And Mokuba only has 1, so you know his damage output's just going to be a lot lower as a result.
Bones gets to base first.
Yep. So here, Bones is going to be capturing this base, and you saw how close the enemies were. So, yeah, they're going to be getting here.
Crit. Blue medicine for marathon safety. I don't think Midnight Fiend would have done enough damage to kill off Invitation there, so...
He would have had to crit.
But we can wait for Soggy for 12 seconds to finally do one attack.
Yeah, so
nice crit.
one very fun thing about this game is that one of the monsters with the absolute slowest animation is Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, which, like, I have not timed it, but it goes so slowly that, like, we have a lot of jokes going around in the community about how it's like one of the lowest DPS moves, despite, you know, Pugum obviously having like one of the highest attack stats in the game, as well as things like, you know, you're just sitting there for 20 plus seconds and then it just misses, and well, let's say that one person does not enjoy it, but everyone watching generally does.
The refight here is just press A to win. Press A twice, you win.
Very easy. Kaiba is the GOAT.
Kaiba sees rules, and he doesn't like rules, as anybody who's a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged would be able to tell you. Oh, we did get another Mokuba encounter for it before.
Okay.
So that's cool. Maybe it was just a skill issue that I had in practice.
Perhaps. Or maybe in practice you lost one of the fights, so you had a 5-second stun.
Actually, you know what? Was that one of the missions that I accidentally touched one of the other marshals I wasn't supposed to? Because it might have been.
This one definitely wasn't.
He does indeed have money, Kaiba.
Yes.
Ah.
We made sure that we have money by inputting the Konami code.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Konami code is just Kaiba going to his bank or something like that.
Alright, yeah, so now Pegasus and Labyrinth Ruler have joined the party. As I said before, this is going to be a rather interesting squad of people. So for this upcoming mission, it's not going to be anything too special. It's just going to be the standard run past the conga line that the enemy sends at us and take their base. So I guess I can go ahead and talk a bit about martial bonuses while we have some downtime. So every martial also has the same, like, couple of, or has stats which basically correspond to the, like, 3, I guess, things at the top of the martial sheet. So there's the hearts, which will give the monsters on that martial more health. Could you just pull up the, in the Z menu? There we go. Yeah, so the hearts will give more health. The sword and shield will give more attack and defense, and the stars will give more action points. So when a monster has a color wheel that is sufficiently close to the color wheel of the martial, then they will start getting stats of, like, you know, all of these stats just by being on their team. And the way that we calculate the amount of stats is just 100 attack and defense per sword and shield, 50 HP per heart, and they get additional action points when the number of stars is 2, 5, 9, and 10. This does lead to some interesting consequences, but for the sake of the speedrun, it's not going to make too much of a difference.
Nice.
Something that might make a difference is missing there, though.
Yeah, I should just stop missing. Like, let's...
Honestly,
stop missing. I think that's an emote in the chat. You can go ahead and post it if you want, every time we miss. It might be like an FFC emote or something like that. It's one of those.
there we go.
Yeah, that's it. Nice! Exactly.
Missed.
Actually, I'm gonna deviate from my strats a little bit here because the only one that has like actions left is Herc Beetle in the middle. But of course, it gets both of those actions off before I can do anything.
It is okay. The game decided that you will have a 2-fighter today, and I suppose there is not much you can do about that.
The heart of the cards is just not on my side today. Alright.
And yeah, here, I guess we're really seeing the value of having Ryukushin powered as our center monster, as we're able to fight Weevil twice before any of the enemies reach our base, despite the fact that they went in a straight line and we went around them. So that's just how like much of a difference we're getting from the overworld speed.
Yep. So now that this mission is done, Kaiba does what everybody does during every business person does during a hostile takeover, and just makes Weevil join his team.
Yep.
So, a couple more monster changes, as we'll be using Weevil in literally one mission. Remember Beast Fangs. I remembered Beast Fangs. Zirgan and Snake.
Hell yeah.
I'll throw in a blue medicine for marathon safety, but also mark the marshal. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of not on my list marshals that make appearances in this game. Most notably is inside of Yugi story. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Wait, what?
Some of the marshals that they receive in like Yugi story.
Oh, sure. Right, so on the Yugi side, you know, you have Yugi's gang of friends. You've got like Tristan, Taya, Joey, and then Mai's along for the ride as well, which makes sense considering the like relationship that you've got going on with her and Joey. And then you've also got some more like out there guys who seem like they're there more to just fill the numbers. You've got Mako and Esperoba, and then you start with some individuals that Forbidden Memories players might remember, being Fizdiz and Shimon. Is that all of them?
Yeah, I think that's most of them. It's bones in front. Yeah, okay.
Let's see.
Okay, so what we do there is we build what's known as a cannon. Cannon basically goes off and pretty much sets every single monster to be like, is that a quarter or like third health, or it's
About a
something like
third,
that.
yeah. I think more specifically like 30%.
Okay. Actually, that's a very good point, Rakurai.
Yeah.
Would you say that this is more a season 3 thing, or would you say that this is that like filler arc between seasons 1 and 2? Because both of those
Well,
are virtual worlds.
you remember when Engineer A made an appearance in the anime?
That would have been season 2.
So this has to be after season 2.
Alright, so Weevil makes an appearance there. And at this base, we're going to be buying 15 black pendants when we eventually get through this battle.
Yep. So
And
here
that
is
should
where
be
we
enough
are
for
taking
rest of the
other battles that'll let us get Black Pendant in the early game. It's like less out of the way than the Labyrinth Ruler on Mission 3, which you know, it just makes it a lot easier to pick up. And after this, we will finally be able to equip like our full main team with damage equips and just kind of start blasting.
Yep. This is definitely a so anyway I started blasting kind of game once we get our full team. The double guard on Armored Lizard. Interesting choice.
Guarding is a much faster animation than attacking, so it's quite good for us.
Okay, so there's gonna be like a quick refight between these things, but not too bad. That's about expected with this battle. Like if you get a crit, you can one-shot it, but I'll just do one last area thing there, but and of course he guards again, but I think I can probably break the guard and be fine with one of the attackers that's good. Crit
You can
mattered.
even kill him through it.
Crit mattered. Alright. We're starting at 5, we're ending at 20 in inventory. Let's see how this works.
I guess one thing that we've been glossing over a little bit is the equipment that you can build at the bases in this game. So when Graceful has been requiring, to like the items that he could buy at these bases, he was buying a trade union, which is one of those equipment, and all it does is open up the shop if it was not already open at that base. Another equipment that he used in this mission is the cannon, which will deal a large chunk of damage to an enemy team when they walk into its range, but it does require some charge up time. And the other thing that he's been getting is the barricade, which will increase your attack and defense by 500 for every monster on your team when you are defending a base with a barricade. Bases additionally have some innate defender's advantage bonuses. which will give like some attack, defense, and battle speed, which basically just depends on the size of the base. So a big castle like this will give more stats, while like one of those little forts or towns will give less stats. That's signified by the number of stars in the menu of the base, but unfortunately, as we're in a combat right now, we can't exactly show that.
Yep, but we can definitely make sure that we kind of show that off, like, right between the battles.
Yeah, we will be seeing it quite often. We will be seeing the menu quite often, so yeah.
Kind of getting low in HP, so just gonna
We'll
go
have plenty of
save just for marathon safety. No flame, by the way.
So Rockerai seems to be spreading some misinformation in the chat.
Misplay on my end. It was bound to happen for misplays, but it's all good. Just don't miss, and it's all forgiven.
Punished for the misplay.
Yep. Not really punished because it missed, but it just wastes a bunch of time.
Wait, yeah.
So ideally, you get through encounter 1 with the twin-headed King Rex and Urabi out, and both of those are gone. So that is good. No flame. Alright.
So yeah, you got like a brief glimpse of it there, but the top left of the menu for that base had 2 stars, which is kind of like a mid-size base, and it gives you like a decent amount of stats. I think something like 200 attack and defense, as well as a like little bit of a boost in speed. It goes all the way up to 4 stars, where like big castles with 4 stars will give 500 each. So when combined with the barricade, it ends up being 1,000 to both attack and defense, which is quite significant.
And that's a guaranteed hit because of well, I didn't say guaranteed crit. Zanki is just
That
that
sort of
good,
Dragon Soul here.
I guess I just kind of materialized the Sword of Dragon Soul on my console, I guess.
Yeah, so Sword of Dragon Soul is an item that can only be equipped on warriors and will make them always crit against dragons. It would be extremely nice to have in the Kaiba campaign, as you will see later on. There is like an entire mission that is just focused around killing dragons. But unfortunately, I guess the game devs just really hate us because the first time Sword of Dragon Soul appears in the Kaiba campaign is Mission 19.
Wait, box is still
Or no, Mission 18. So now that we have all our black pendants, we can throw together like a much better team. In fact, I believe this is our final team on Kaiba, right?
No, it is not. There's one additional thing for Dynamis later on, but other than that, yes.
Right. Yeah, so Bikuri Box is just the strongest monster that we have. He does have a little bit of a slower animation, but he has a much higher attack stat than like every other monster that we have access to, especially once you get some levels on him. And the snake hair will unlock paralysis on basic attack at level 25. She is like one of the only monsters in this game that gets useful stuff this early, so having her and like having such a powerful effect as paralysis which just completely causes the enemies to skip their
Close,
turns,
but
is really good.
let's risk it. All right, we're
Excellent.
Safe.
Yeah, so in practice, Graceful has run into those Thunder Dragons, which is pretty bad for time loss.
Yeah, like on the order of minutes of time loss if you hit them. Yeah, no, we're not fighting these guys. So one of the reasons that we turn swap mode off is basically whenever you have swap mode off, but you like lose a battle here, Ryu just kind of goes there and has to wait for 5 seconds. Conversely, that comes with the downside that it's going to happen again once I get out of the first encounter at this base too.
Yeah, and so we did it here because we're going to need to escape twice, whereas we only, we take 2 fights with this guy. So we get stunned once and the enemy gets stunned twice, and so it does actually end up resulting in like reducing the number of times we have to escape. And yeah, I mean, doing that not only improves marathon safety for the route, but it also just saves time.
Going for the box kill. Let's see if we get it. I think box does over 500 just with pendants alone. Yeah, exactly. So Kanon
Always trust in the box.
Yeah. What's in the box? What's in the box? Nah. The Curry Box is probably our strongest attacker in this game that we get because of the black pendants, which do have an added side effect that we'll explain later on when we get some spellcasters. But
yeah, and,
in general, it's just the single biggest attacker we have. It's basically our beat stick. So
for a bit of context, so the Curry Box, his starting stats are high, but not like astronomically better than the rest of the competition, somewhere like in the 2000 range. But the amount of stats that you get when you level up depends on the growth tree that you are in. And the Curry Box is in a very good growth tree. So, like, he ends up, at the end of this run, his base attack stat will be, like, getting pretty close to 4,000, while everything else is stuck at, like, 2,500 to 3,000. So he really just hits a lot harder than everything else.
So again, another intentional escape. I actually ran the escape formula for this, and you have a 100% chance to escape that with Bones. So intentionally Bones is picked here just so we can escape from that base.
Yep. It seems like Plays with Self has requested that I explain what the barriers do in this game.
And that's very easy. I can actually answer that question. The barrier allows you to draw 2 cards.
Very good, Graceful.
Anyways. Nah, but the barriers are kind of confusing as far as that goes, if you want to actually explain them. Like, it's not at all relevant to the speedrun, but...
Yeah. It also would force me to touch on magic, which is another thing which, well, we've got a very, like, nice so there's a bunch of items which require you to have magic on your monsters in order to equip them. And, well, they gave magic to every monster at, like, a very high level, so we just won't ever see them. So, you know, that's, like, a solid, like, entire game mechanic that we just don't get to interact with because the game devs decided it would be fun if you unlocked everything at, like, level 70.
Not to mention, like, with most battling, like, you only gain so much experience, and, like, level 59, for whatever reason, has, like, a very steep leveling curve to get to 60. It's actually very kind of funky the way that they handled like leveling and stuff like that in this game.
Yeah, so it seems to be like the
Curious.
amount of EXP required per
Maybe a
level
couple more.
grows vaguely linearly with the level. So you have like 50 EXP for each level from level 1 to like 5 or something like that, and then 100, and then 150, and so on. But then like the EXP cap is 65,535, and when you do this formula, like all the way from 1 to level 99, yeah, like basically you're going to end up with a lot less than 65,535 EXP. So, what would be a logical thing to do? Well, maybe you could just have us reach level 99 before we reach max EXP, and a modder named Tom did exactly that. He just fixed up the level curve. You reach level 99 before max EXP, and all of the excess EXP is just left over at the end. So, what did the game devs at Konami do? Well, instead of that, they decided to dump all of that excess EXP into level 59, and it just takes forever to get to level 60.
Yeah. So there's a couple of comments that mods for this game would definitely be very cool. And they exist out there, actually. So I have a link to a Discord on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GracefulShutdown, that basically also links to the Faslebound Kingdom Discord with a bunch of mods and also the randomizer for this. So if you want to go and check it out, shoutouts to them. I can see a lot of them in the chat already, but yeah, so shoutouts to them. Definitely go check it out if you want.
They've done some really great things with the game. In the Kaizo mod that they've released, like, it's about a year ago now.
Yep, it's about a year.
They did, in fact, add new monsters, as Green Phoenix 8 was alluding to, and, I mean, they've revamped a lot of the systems in this game to just make more sense, and overall just made the game a much more, like, enjoyable version than what Konami gave us.
Yeah. Alright, so this is another one where it's expected that you'll fight twice. At this point, this team kind of is a little bit starved for action points, so we may be refighting and fighting like over and over again here, but in general, just 1, 2, 3 hits kills everything. Alright.
But now that we're getting our third action point on these guys, life will be getting better for us.
Yep. So Crucial Battle, we do have a couple of monster changes before this one, just mostly to do with...
Oh man, we're already fighting Heishin, the big bad guy.
Yeah, the
and
bad guy.
only an hour into the run. That's crazy. We're so far ahead.
What's it called? Oh man, we're gonna have to give so much time back to the marathon in this case, you know?
Yeah, for real.
Shadow Ghoul. I forgot the third monster here. Who also gets pendants. Pendant. Just double check that. Okay, so one area where I have a slight difference of strategy from the world record holder who you might have seen in the chat, Tenacious Turtle, is right here. And all I do is basically just I just build a cannon immediately. We will see the results of that later on. but in general, that's basically the only difference. Ah, man. So, Labyrinth Ruler. Unfortunately, we don't really use him that much in the speed run. We literally just go to his character and take all of the good monsters off of him. Alright, we can select that. This is a target hunter spider, I think. Because we should get 3 straight, but then again, Box probably takes out or gets very close. Actually, I have a barricade at base. It should be gone.
Box just
Yeah, Box just...
way overkills that guy.
Box go burr. So
Yep.
I'm going to intentionally hit basic insect because the blue medicine on big insect on the left there is actually faster than watching its attack animation. So intentionally knocking it into like healing range just to hopefully avoid one action.
And then of course the game rewards you by making you miss your next attack.
Of course.
Pretty classic things.
That's just Faslebound Kingdom for you, man. But I don't think it's going to be too bad. Because it'll blue medicine the second time. And I think if I don't miss here, I can still get through this by having Snake Hair target basic insect.
Yo, this game has the sickest multiplayer plays.
It really does, yeah. This multiplayer single player, you know? And it is indeed capable of doing Insect Fire Cannon. However, it just didn't decide to do it this time.
Mittens the Percolator, thanks for the raid.
Thank you for the raid. So right here, I just kind of do this, heal,
Yes.
then reset.
So yeah, the healer is another piece of equipment which allows us to burn a bunch of money to heal our guys up out of combat.
It is indeed big or sizable.
Since we're just waiting for the enemies to, walk into us, there's not a whole lot of reason to not do it in between the fights.
Yeah. So here we have Dragon Zombie, who definitely gets a glow up in Kaizo, but in this one he's just the guy with a lot of AP and a very long attack. So we want to get rid of him as soon as possible.
Yep. Yeah, so Mittens, our run is, we have been getting some bad RNG here and there, but nothing that, leads to some, any extra fights, so it's not been too bad.
Yeah, it's been about as expected, pretty much.
Or, no, I guess we had one instance where I think, we got one more fight than we needed, but it hasn't been too bad. We're doing quite well.
And I think there's just enough damage done that it deals
this is a
with that
damage roll.
1600. Aw,
And we
6
did not
HP.
pass the damage roll.
Damn.
Womp womp.
That's tragic.
Pretty unfortunate.
And immediately punished with a super long attack animation of about 8 seconds, I think. And that's all.
Yeah, so
Guard
you may have
initial.
noticed that we swapped Ryukishin powered over to Pegasus. Hercules Beetle is not as fast as Ryukishin powered, and in fact, we will not be getting a second monster that has the overworld speed of Ryukishin powered until we unlock Ishizu, much later in the campaign. So yeah, like, if possible, it's like if we only need one, if we only need one Marshal to like actually run to them, we're always going to try to have Ryukushin powered on that Marshal. And in this case, Kaiba's a lot stronger than Pegasus, so we wanted him to be the one who defends the base against the 3 enemies.
Exactly. Nice little crit to end that battle right there that I see.
Yep.
Oh
Yep,
man, it would
that's
be.
what practice is for. Thankfully in this game, well...
Oh, swap mode. Interesting. Interesting.
Okay, so what we just saw there was the swap mode bug, where sometimes when you have swap mode on, and you like finish a battle, you will sometimes have marshals moving around in the overworld just jump forward on their path by like sometimes a very significant amount, sometimes just like a little bit, like we saw there. But we don't really understand this bug yet, so we are not able to use it to our advantage yet. But what happened there was basically that, you know, that team jumped forward a little bit because of the swap mode bug, which caused them to reach our base before our cannon finished charging up. Which, obviously, it takes a lot less time to kill someone if they enter the fight at 30% HP versus full HP. So, that was quite unfortunate.
Yeah. So basically what I did there is I just used one of the used the black pendant, and I told you I would go back to this on Roguedoll. Black Pendant's effect basically means that every single hit you do against a spellcaster monster, which Roguedoll is one of them, is a critical hit and therefore does a lot of damage, basically.
Yeah, so Bakuri Box just straight up kills Roguedoll from one hit, like from full HP, which is insane.
Okay, so this probably encourages him to heal, but that's perfectly fine for me. Yep. Anyways, he goes down in 2 hits pretty much regardless of who I attack him with, so...
Yeah, so, the reason why swap mode... Yeah, so when we have swap mode on, there is potential for a pretty... Like, it is possible that we could find a setup that will basically allow us to teleport Pegasus into the enemy base after we fight the first enemy marshal here with swap mode, but I'm not entirely sure, like, how we would do this. You know, maybe I'll look into it some other time. And yeah, I think there's like a couple other... It's only really this map where we would really have potential for time save, because we would need the enemy to like run into us before we can like get to the enemy stronghold in order for it to actually be useful.
Yeah, and if I remember right, it kind of like warps you like right around here where the cursor is, basically, but... I remember during my all monster portraits run of this game, I remember there was something where I basically like got kind of like dropped like in the middle of the lake and then lost a whole bunch of time.
Yeah,
it wasn't
once
fun.
we like actually figure out how to control this better, we might be able to have like some significant time save on, I think, like this mission as well as one more later. I think there's only one other mission where it might be relevant, though.
I have 3 straight attacks here, so let's go and try to get rid of Axe Raider. Yep. If it hits, we're good. If it doesn't, that's Faslebound, but it hit.
Yeah, Ryukushin powered, does also have pretty fast in combat speed, so he's not only for the overworld running, he is also quite good in that regard too.
Yeah. Ryu's definitely an MVP when it comes to this run, too. This should kill from the crit. Yep. Pretty easily, too. I think this is going to be a refight required unless I get a crit. But let's see what happens here.
Come on, Shadow Ghoul.
Ah, not quite.
Unfortunate. He's not a lucky enough guy.
But hey, we got a third AP from Ryu, so that's pretty
always
good.
nice.
Pretty good. Two more. Literally just attack him for once. Lose 5 seconds because he outspeeds.
Yep. So as mentioned before, castles do give you like a bonus when you're defending them. So enemy Zonky was in fact faster than our Zonky.
That's it. We beat the game, right, everyone?
Yeah.
Wait, why is the estimate 3 hours? Crap. Oh wait, who the heck are you? Wait, aren't you from that one episode of Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that? That one obscure episode of Yu-Gi-Oh where Kaiba's fighting with Obelisk for the first time? I don't know, all our base are belong to him or something. I don't know.
Dang. Unfortunately, it seems like we haven't beaten the game yet, so I guess we'll just have to get back to the 3-hour estimate.
Guess we got a game. So here we basically just go through and switch Ryu and Hercules Beetle back to their rightful places. Yeah. This is a bit of RTS stuff here. Okay. So we just basically go through this mission and set a barricade and healer up because we're pretty much going into an enemy encounter rush. So this is the kind of mission that it is here. So with exception of 2 of the teams, all of them will be fusion and healer. So Winged Dragon, Guardian of the Fortress is the healer in this one. Marvelous and Wing Eagle are fusions.
Yep, and the AI's conditions for... Oh yeah, so the AI is programmed to have some, like, essentially a checklist to determine whether they're going to use their items or not for, like, fusion and healing.
Nice range.
So, heals will be used when you have a monster that is less than 50%, and the fusion will be used if it is either the last AP of the monster, or they are below 30% HP.
Nice, so now we're down to 1 monster, so just get rid of the fancy-looking chicken.
Yep.
Who was guarding? And I didn't even realize. But it's all good. This is a clear the enemy kind of mission, so it's not too bad.
This is a pretty chill run. We're not losing that much for that.
Yeah, it's fairly chill at this point for the rest of the run, so all of the difficult RTS is basically loaded into the first I would say like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
I do have to ask though, why was the Herc Beetle team the one sent to the enemy base in this one?
So I think it's more from a line of like which team we want to get all of the EXP, because this is a very EXP heavy mission. So in exchange for that, we level up Ryu a lot more so that he's a little bit more useful in the later game. But yeah, you're right.
I see.
Ryu would be a lot faster. It's just not really seen as that big of a deal that he doesn't go first.
I guess like the Herc Beetle is fast enough to like prevent the only preventable fight anyways.
And running away from every fight would just, in addition to being just completely terrible content and a terrible watch, it's also slower. So we don't do that. So here's Gazelle and Berthamet, which of course fans of the anime would know that this creates Gazelle, or Chimera, the king of flying mythical beasts.
And fun fact about fusions in this game, while the enemy like we might at some point, if we get unlucky, see a fusion like appear on the enemy's side of the field, and you will probably notice that the fusion really does not seem to have the kind of stats that you would expect from a fusion. Because indeed, like, Chimera and the Crimson Sunbird, these guys, they just, like, don't have as many stats as Bikuri Box, and it's absolutely hilarious how, like, in the vanilla version of this game, the fusions are just, like, really bad. So, you know, if anybody wants to see this game with actually useful fusions, perhaps you might want to check out the Kaizo version of the mod, or of the Kaizo mod of this game, or the allegedly other mod that, or the other mod which is allegedly going to be coming out this month.
Soon TM. It's definitely in soon TM.
Yep.
It's in the GTA 6 realm of development. But anyway, yeah. So we're just mad chilling at this point. After this fight, I'm gonna be healing up for the remainder of the mission. Might have been worth it to just wait that, but worst case scenario, we see Crimson Sunbird and then we just get rid of everything. See, it's not even it's not even in diffusion range, so it was all good.
You played around the fusion there.
Oh, but then I lose
he got the crit though.
But that's fine. I can just I'm healing a between battles anyway, so.
Thankfully, healer in this game is pretty goated, and you can just revive things with it. Yep. I also don't think we're even losing any time from Ryu dying, because Ryu Kishin Power did not have the attack to kill this guy in one hit anyways.
No, so we would have had to wait for box anyway, unless we wanted to do 2 attacks, which wouldn't have saved time. And crit, which totally mattered.
And so, yeah, like, Ryu dying there was actually a 1-second time save, if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, just taking one for the team. Saving frames, killing Ryu. Alright, good as new.
And now, here is the first of our non-fusion teams. Yep. I don't actually know why they decided to not have a fusion on this team, but you know, my in-lore theory is that Heishin took the mystical elf and got it killed, so no mystical elf for you.
Yeah, and threw it in a swamp with some other monster that has an interesting attack animation. Mystic Dark Elf being a spellcaster, we just one-shot everything.
Simply
so
gone.
one
Yep.
attack and it's gone.
And there is Bakuri Box giving a perfect demonstration of why he is on the team despite being slow both in battle speed and in his animation speed.
Yep, 1400 attacks to one spellcaster. Literally, you don't even have to think about anything there, but okay. So maybe not the most optimal thing, so we're giving back a bit of a savings right here, but it's all good.
So Plays asked, if a monster has only 1 AP and it can fuse or revive an ally, which will it do? I actually don't remember the answer to this, but I think that the answer is that it will fuse.
Is this one of those answers where it depends more on, like, the slot of the item?
I have no idea.
Yeah. I guess what I can say is there's only one way to find out.
Unfortunately, I don't think any enemy in vanilla has both polymerization and monster reborn on them, so
Yeah, you'd
this
have
is
to
another
like
thing
hack
that
it. So, but
this would be another thing that we would need to use a modded version of the game to find out.
yeah, definitely a little bit of trust me, bro, kind of science going on right there.
So the gods are not like fusions, as they just replace your team. Well, they're also the win button.
Yeah, press Z, do 1000 damage to everybody.
Yeah.
Profit. It is interesting though that Obelisk is the only monster in the entire game with multiple Z abilities, depending on if you're facing another Egyptian god or not.
Yeah, they have this really cool arena set up for the god fights, and then like another one if there's god versus god.
Yep.
Alright,
so now we're just kind of waiting for Pegasus to eventually make his way to that base.
Yep.
Just making sure they don't
So-
touch, and they're good. So now we just kind of deal with Labyrinth Ruler and his 6 action point because of Castle Adept, Dungeon Worm, which is probably one of the meaner monsters that you're going to encounter in the early / mid game. But
Man, imagine if you had to fight that thing in Mission 1. Sure would be a monster.
it sure would be, yeah. But at least we don't have to fight him in Kaizo. If you know, you know. But otherwise, I don't think I'll spoil it for everybody in attendance here. It's ever so slightly more challenging than this. So here what we're
Just a
going to want to
little
do...
bit.
So here what we're going to want to do is kind of focus on Monster Tamer first, just because Monster Tamer has, like, healing items. And then, with anything we have left, Dungeon Worm. It's quite possible you might lose a monster here. I'm gonna wait out. Just because... sure. 3 guards! Alright, sure.
Dang.
4!
He is just trying to waste your time here.
Okay, finally he does something. So,
That is crazy.
damn. Between those things, I think this team has only witnessed 2 attacks. because Cybersaurus guarded with its last action, and Dungeon Worm guarded with all but one of its actions. Aw, weight is perfect.
And the weight.
Beautiful.
That's my goat.
Ah, speedrunner, man. Speedrunner, no space. Crit sends us home.
Darn.
Never lucky. Never lucky. Yep. Which unfortunately means we're gonna get the cutscene. So
Wow.
basically Yugi arrives all the way at the end of the mission and gets rid of half the marshals, who we've already fought and beaten. Thanks, Yuki.
Guys, I'm helping.
He helped. Fortunately, this team goes down in basically one hit, so nice simple refight. I think in practice the refight for that one we still had Dungeon Worm around. So definitely better than the practice room. Now plot-wise...
Oh no, what's this? Did Kaiba just say that everyone has to split up?
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez. What could possibly happen here?
Oh no, not Mokuba. And before this mission, we will do nothing.
We will go the distance.
We will go the distance. Engineer A, yes.
What was that? You said our chances of winning were less than 0.0009%? That's a lot of zeros.
Never tell me the odds. So for here, we basically this is yet another one of the go around the conga line kind of missions. So
yeah,
actually,
Graceful will be showing off a cute little trick, which isn't really necessary here, but it is a very cute trick, so we're going to be doing it anyways. Okay, so, when an enemy marshal would capture this base, they're programmed to basically just run in a straight line at our main base. And so, they're going to hit this base in the middle on the way, and when they get in there, they're going to find that there is a large beetle who is blocking the other side of the base and preventing them from getting out. And so, we don't have to worry at all about the enemies reaching us, regardless of what happens with the Kaiba fight.
Yeah, so basically we just kind of do this just as a little bit of an added safety thing. Does not need to be needed, as Goat said. Then I send him to base because everybody's gone around. In the meantime, just everybody just kind of accumulates right there. You won't see any more because we should be encountering Scott right about now. I'm sorry, Engineer A, who has a team that is suspiciously like other teams in this marathon, in this run. So the embodiment of Poposis on Y and X, the two flanks, both of them have healing items. So what we're going to want to do here is basically split attacks from Ryu and Snakehair, and then just kind of go in for the kill with Box after they've moved. So, gonna go in with Box right there. Worst case scenario, it doesn't kill him fully, but it did, so no big deal. So we do that, knock it to just above healing range. Sure. Let's try it.
Graceful. This is a speed run. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I know, right? I should just do. Alright. Never punished.
Alright, we get a very clean fight.
Yep, nice and clean fight with no healing. I'll wait out just to get rid of his guard, and then just press A to win.
Now, I think one of the really funny things about this team is, like, Serket is clearly supposed to be the boss monster on this squad. He is just a lot bigger than the two Apophyses on the side, who are also, like, you know, just... There's two of them, so you can tell that they're the sidekicks. And yet, because Serket only has 2 AP, and the Apophyses have 4 each, the Serket ends up being, like, a lot weaker than the other two. So you can see yet another case of the devs having some interesting stuff going on.
We have him now. He's definitely real, and oh my god, and all of this stuff plot, blah blah blah, and oh crap, it was a hologram.
Dang. How have we beaten the game twice and the run's still not over? That's crazy.
I know, right? Like, we just keep beating the game, but the run refuses to end. Okay. So raid is a mission where there's a slight bit of development that's potentially going into it. We're kind of like finalizing a route for this, but in the meantime, we're just gonna kind of just do the Kaiba rush strat, where we basically just fight all 3 of these encounters with Kaiba's team. Because Kaiba's team is basically going to carry pretty much us for the rest of the run. With exception of like one mission that's coming up fairly soon. Gonna watch out for...
Yeah, the name of the game here is dodging as many enemies as possible, which often means we're only going to be fighting one Marshal.
The fairly simple fight here, just 3 attacks kills everything, basically, so... Unless, of course, you get a crit, and unless, of course, he guards. But still, 3 attacks probably kills, even if I hit into guard. So, I'll just keep that to make it consistent. Pumpkin is just getting targeted first, just because it has a super long attack animation. Whereas Battleox is just kind of... Battleox just kind of swings his axe and just is kind of like batter up and what have you, but... Pumpkin kind of breathes on you, and if you have a monster that breathes on another monster, it's really slow, and we want to avoid that, so... Then we'll just kind of clean up with the Battleox. Or we'll try to.
Damage rolls are not being too friendly today.
What on earth is the theme of this team? I wonder.
I don't know, Xenom. Why don't you tell me what's the theme of this team?
Yeah. Pumpkin has hands?
Yo, they have hands? That's insane.
Damn. I was gonna go for something like they're all Duelist Kingdom monsters, but... But I guess the hands one works too.
But having hands is not enough. Are they able to throw those hands?
That's what I'll do. Nice. Immediate miss.
Do you
Super
think
long
this is
attack
the most
animation.
people who've like ever watched this game live on stream?
It's probably up there. But it's definitely a lot of people who haven't seen this game in quite some time, given that's one of the comments of, "Oh, I remember this game."
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just more surprised that they've seen it at all.
Yeah.
The typical comment I get when I tell somebody about this game is, what?
Yeah. Because I like to explain it as just like, oh, it's a somewhat obscure Yu-Gi-Oh game and stuff like that, and yeah, that's basically kind of the way that I approach that in just conversation and stuff, but alright.
I have a friend who I mentioned that this has like RTS elements, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
A Yu-Gi-Oh game with RTS elements?
And no cards.
And no cards?
Well, actually, no.
Nani?
We can't say that it had no cards. It came with 3 cards in the game package, but
Oh.
as I look over at my copy of it, 3 limited edition official game cards inside.
I genuinely do not remember which cards they were anymore.
They were Zoa, Metal Zoa, and Goblin Fan, I believe, on the North American version.
Nice.
But then again, I just read the back of the box, so for all I know, I'm completely wrong here.
The Goblin Fan just randomly sitting there like...
Just random
It
trap
would've-
card.
I think it might have made sense if it was a Metal Morph, but... You do you, Konami. And yeah, so now that Snakehair is level 25, it has paralysis on hit, and it's like the best monster we have.
Yep. So half of the... So again, there were a lot of better monsters that we could have used instead of Snakehair, but Snakehair has paralysis, so of course we're going to use it instead. Because...
Yeah, so now Snakehair just paralyzed the Flame Swordsman on the right, which means that the Flame Swordsman, unless it breaks out first turn to spite us, just gets his turn skipped, and that is, you know, a lot of time save.
Barely.
On the other hand, missing every damage roll that we get is not a lot of time save.
So again, I'm just gonna spread paralysis here, and you're gonna find that that's a recurring recurring strategy for this going forward. Basically, as soon as we get paralysis, we want to use it to go fast, because this is a speed run. But...
Every enemy animation that we save is like between 5 and 10 seconds saved.
Yep. So
the paralysis is just a huge deal.
I'm going to intentionally wait on Vox just because the other 2 have faster attack animations, and especially Ryu.
Getting a little bit of that time save, because this is in fact a speed run.
Yep. Alright, so after this mission of just Kaiba and Black Panda and Scober, we have another RTS mission that's kind of interesting, Bandits again.
So this is a mission that, if you were playing casually, might be one of the most frustrating missions in the entire game. The reason for this is that the gimmick of the mission is that all of the enemies are just running at you, including the boss that you win the mission when you kill him. And about halfway between the two bottom bases, there is a roaming encounter where you get some really nice monsters. So if you're playing casually, you'd probably want to go and like pick those up, but you're also kind of on a timer because the boss is sprinting towards your base and trying to die.
Yeah, so for context, all of those guys are there, and the monsters are like right around here. So it's just a complete and absolute pain in the neck, where you have to kind of like fight and then run away, fight, run away, fight, run away, over and over and over and over and over again. But this is the speed run, so we just go straight to Keith and run away at base.
Oh dear. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we should be fine.
Wait,
Unless...
I thought that turned around.
Yeah, it did. Okay.
Okay, so what we're seeing here is very bad time loss.
Yeah, very bad.
Because part of the escape formula is that when you have a dead monster on your side, it basically treats them as being as slow as possible for the escape formula, which compares the battle speed of your monsters to the battle speed of the enemy monsters, and gives you some extra chances to escape depending on how much AP you use. So if you have a dead monster, and you do not have a lot of AP, the chances of escaping are basically zero. Like, the fact that Sagi died there, I think brought our escape chances from 100% to 0%. So
Yeah.
that's why Graceful's just fighting it out. Yeah, as you can imagine, this is quite a lot slower than it would have been if we just escaped from the fight.
Okay, no, we're done.
Yep.
So,
and yeah,
but we burned the
this-
polymerization, and Crimson Sunbird is one of the slowest attack animations in the game. Because it's the same attack animation as Pugum, but slightly faster.
it's a lot faster.
Actually, yeah, you're right, it's a lot faster.
So Pugum, or Perfect the Ultimate Great Moth, has basically the same animation, except it's using dust, and for some reason, the tornado just stays on your guy for like 10 seconds, and it's really annoying. But yeah, anyways, Bones died. Nothing of value was lost other than some time.
Exactly. Normally we would be like out of that encounter fairly quickly, but unfortunately, didn't happen. So
yeah,
here we're stuck with a 75% chance to run here, with this team and these monsters. So
with 3 shots, we will still have a very high chance, but it's not guaranteed.
okay, second try.
And there we go.
So we did still get that.
Yeah, and for a bit more context on just, like, how unlucky we got in that first fight, another little gimmick about the AI that I have not talked about yet is the way the AI chooses its targets for attacks. So I did, like, a pretty decent amount of testing in challenge mode, and what I got was essentially just that the AI will have an increased chance to attack the highest attack monster on your team, and otherwise it just kind of goes at random. And on that team, Sagi the Dark Clown was definitely not the highest attack monster on the team. I think that would be Hitotsumi Giant.
Yes.
So not only did they both target into the same monster, it was also one with like lower odds of being targeted.
Ah, red medicine, range. How do I want to play this? I'm sure that's gonna trigger the slot. But maybe I get lucky. Oh, maybe lucky?
Nice.
Alright, lucky. Nice.
Yeah, so here Slot Machine is a relatively slow monster, and Barrel Dragon is like very slow. So, we did have like pretty good odds that the Snake Hair would be going second there. But of course,
Wait.
as mentioned before, you know, someone at Konami decided it would be funny if speed had a huge amount of variance, and so just nothing in this game is guaranteed.
I think it killed. Yeah, okay. So slots are gone. That's Barrel Dragon. Barrel Dragon does its attack, and then we just press A, and I
Smash
think we have
A.
enough damage. Oh
Don't
yeah, we
jinx
have.
it. You might miss twice, dude.
I might, yeah. But then I get swap moded, and then we fight him again. So.
You'd have to do some pretty fast RTS, I think, but yeah.
Okay. So I have 2 shots to kill. Alright, and we hit him on the first shot, so it's no
Excellent.
big deal. Definitely not panicking. Only slightly panicking. Alright.
So we did get some pretty unfortunate time loss there with that first fight, but thankfully we didn't get screwed too hard in the Keith fight, and so it was limited to just the duration of that first fight. We also got all of Keith's monsters, which would be really nice if, you know, we weren't getting level 1 monsters over halfway through the campaign. Because those are actually very strong monsters. There's no point in using them if you're getting them at level 1 halfway through the campaign. And yeah, so this mission, we're fighting a lot of dragons. And Konami decided it would be very funny if we did not have the item that killed dragons.
Yep.
Graceful is also hovering over an area of the map where there is a roaming encounter of Buster Blader and Cyber Commander. We are making sure not to run there.
Yeah, so we definitely don't want to run into that encounter because we have no use for either Buster Blader or Cyber Commander. And also this mission hard locks you at 2 marshals that you're allowed to have. So even if you could RTS something to save time, you don't have enough marshals to do it. So
I also always found it very funny how this is the mission where you unlock Buster Blader, and it's like, you know, he's the guy that kills the dragons, but you don't get to use them until after you beat the mission where you kill all the dragons.
So on the very first encounter with like the quote-unquote themed monsters, we have Twin-Headed King Rex and Thunder Dragon, both of which have polymerization and will fuse into Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. So I'm sure there's no theme here on this mission called Dragon Lair.
A fun fact for the crowd. Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon has claws on its legs. It's really stupid.
It does, yep.
Like, there are claws that are like poking out of his knees. It's one of the weirdest models I've ever seen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get to see Dino Flame all that much because of the paralysis here, but... So, sorry to the 2 fans in the crowd who are cheering for Dino Flames. But, yeah. So
Yep,
yeah, this is definitely...
Astra. Yep. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! RPG. It is
an RTS RPG.
Yep.
Ah,
This is what Warcraft 3 truly aspired to be.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so the first base there, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Pegasus encounters on the second base.
For Rockerai, the fun fact was Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon and his funny knees. Being a member of the Discord, I'm sure you've seen the pictures.
So here we kind of want to play this to avoid the fusion if possible, but it's really not a huge deal if we get the fusion. And we avoid the fusion. Okay. The oh, okay.
Ow. I suppose that
Ow.
we are getting unlucky today.
Yep. No luck. I think this might be a refight, actually.
Well, at least, like... Okay, yeah, this kill is guaranteed now.
Yep.
It is looking like we will likely need a refight, though.
Refight and probably a healer at base is what I
Yeah.
figure. Unless
It
we
is a
get
bit
lucky with
unfortunate.
crits.
One time. One time. Never
Never
lucky,
lucky.
dude. Well, okay, at least he guarded. He decided to throw us a bone at the end there.
That's true, too. So Shadow Ghoul, slightly underleveled, but the levels on Pegasus don't really matter as much as they do on Kaiba.
Sure is a good thing you don't have to play this deathless.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I would have been just completely done with this run so long ago if I had to play this in like a Nuzlocke sense. Zonky.
Alright.
Good bit of menuing right there.
That should mean that we don't get any real time loss from the death, just from the refight.
Yeah. He should still arrive there in plenty of time. So the strategy with this battle is press A, win eventually. Sometimes he lives this attack from Bakuria Box and breaks out of paralysis and then red medicines. But he's not going to do that because he's just going to
The box clutched up.
get destroyed by the box. Praise the box. So this is also an incredibly expensive mission too. As far as like economy and stuff like that is concerned here.
Yeah, all the items and
Like buying a base, like buying
the
the base
equipment,
equip is like 2,000 gold just for that, versus the normal like healer cost of being like around 800. Is that Pegasus faster or is that? That's
I
me
don't
close.
think it matters.
Nah, that's Kaiba faster.
Yeah. Ryukish Empowered is the GOAT.
Oh man.
Oh
you wanna
yeah,
talk
we're
about
definitely going
dragons?
to be using so many dragons in this run. Okay, yeah, so every monster type in this game has an equip that boosts their attack stat by 500, right? Wrong, dragons don't, because someone at Konami hates dragons. Instead, they have an equip which makes their attacks not miss, and just does not have the effect of boosting your attack, despite the fact that there exists another equipment which, you know, does both. It's honestly crazy.
So that's actually not entirely true. Those aren't equips in the base game. I believe
Draconic
they're
attack?
magic. I believe they're magic.
The Draconic Attack.
Oh.
You're thinking of Dragon Treasure. Dragon Treasure is a magic which gives dragons plus 500 attack and plus 1 AP. There is also there's also like Draconic Fury, which I think gives them plus like 1500, but confuses them. And then there is Dragon Capture Jar, which I think paralyzes all dragons.
And that's magic, but yeah.
Yeah.
And it would certainly be an awesome thing to get for this mission, but you know, first of all, we don't get it, and secondly, we don't we don't have any magic users. So.
Yep. Yeah, Rockrai. Yeah,
nah,
as Rockrai said.
Got it.
Yep. So yeah, we will never be using a dragon, despite the fact that I think Parrot Dragon actually would be one of the better, like, monsters we could use, just, like, statistically and, you know, in terms of all the important metrics. It's just that he's a dragon, so he's not usable. Like, game's just that simple.
Yeah. Guard is a bit awkward there. And we'll see how the turn order RNG goes. Pretty good, because
yeah.
I can just go and kill him. Okay.
Yeah, love to see it.
I'm gonna just wait out. I do like Meteor Dragon just in general. It's a shame that it's not really useful in the speed game.
Or in general.
Okay, so we'll
The guy,
quickly focus on Kaiba.
he
here.
is a spicy meatball, and much like a spicy meatball, he gets eaten very quickly.
Indeed.
Another little tidbit about this game that I haven't mentioned yet is that each base, could you open up the castle menu? So in the top right of each base, there is the, this like, it says rebellious, which tells you the state of, I guess, how much the, like, the people living in this base or whatever like you, and the number of hearts displayed shows how quickly you will heal when you are sitting in the base. So like every base will have a little bit of passive regeneration when you're sitting in it, and when you have a healer, that passive regeneration's doubled, but the base rate depends on the number of hearts on the base.
So I would call this one of the difficulty spikes in the game, just purely because you're dealing with nothing but level 35 Blue Eyes White Dragons, with perfect orb color matching with the Lord of D Marshall that's here. Do you want to talk about orb colors for a bit?
Sure. So every monster has an orb color, which is meant to basically correspond to like some color you would associate with that monster. And so these blue eyes have like a little whitish blue, and it's kind of self-explanatory why. When your orb has is sufficiently close to the Marshal's orb on each of its red, green, and blue values, this will cause the attack, HP, and AP stats to like be buffed accordingly based on what I mentioned before with the martial bonuses. So, like, the marshal defending this base is a level 99 Lord of D, who I believe has maxed out all of his martial bonuses.
I think
Which
so
means
too,
these blue
yeah.
eyes are getting plus 1000 attack and defense, plus 500 HP, and plus 4 AP. So yeah, I think this is like the first time we've ever seen, or the first time in this run that we have seen enemies that have a lot of AP, and that's the reason why.
So, again, long-time knowers of the Yu-Gi-Oh series. 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, all with polymerization, can only mean one thing. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So, basically with this fight, the thing that we're going to want to do is just kind of focus on one while spreading paralysis to the others. With 1 AP left, we escape, and because we have 3 monsters and they have 1, the escape formula actually kind of works out, so that we just kind of go away and it's assured every time.
Yep.
Versus
and
if we
as
did
soon
an
as
action
we
there.
kill,
Yeah.
as soon as we kill one of the blue eyes, they're no longer capable of fusion, and so we can kind of just relax a little. So, you know, Graceful got through that hurdle pretty quickly. Another neat thing about fighting the blue eyes is that they are really slow, so it will basically always go like 1, 2, 3. And I mean, that's one of the things that makes this fight like, despite the fact that it is kind of a difficulty spike, it's not really that scary. As you can see here, we just attacked them until they died. The main concern is just that if they break out of paralysis at a bad time, then they will fuse, and then dealing with Blue Eyes Ultimate is actually kind of annoying.
So again, you get
and now
all
we
3
have
of
the
these
3 Blue Eyes.
and Lord
on
of Dragon for
Kaiba.
some reason. So obviously we're going to use them, right?
Yeah, surely.
Surely we will use an actual good monster or something. Wait a
Kaiba's
second. What am I
signature
doing?
monsters?
What am I doing? What the heck? Okay. All right. Safe.
Wow, that was weird.
Damn. Surely we'll use them sometime later. We're not
Yeah.
going to use them.
And now this is the other mission where that I alluded to earlier, where perhaps, or wait, okay, they did not. The AI is sending their guys in a dumb path, so I guess we will not be. There's no chance that we will have a time save from swap mode shenanigans sometime if we figure it out.
Yep. So basically, they do this they do this random like RTS thing where Umbra is coming from the base. Oh, by the way, hi Loomis, hi Umbra. And they're randomly sending one other marshal across the way. However, we can just kind of like no-brainer, just completely like bypass them entirely and just go straight to Umbra at the base. So we decide to do that. Because it's fast.
Man, that was a really clean angle.
Yep. It was actually slightly late for that. Like if you release at 14, it goes like just beside like that. But it's really not that big of a deal if you just wait until 15. Get there every time. Now Umbra's team is is kind of familiar. I don't know why. Might be because 2/3 of the monsters are our monsters. He's got good taste in monsters, and Serpent Knight Dragon, when dragons are actually useful, is actually kind of cool. But
unfortunately, he put the wrong one in the middle because he's dumb.
He did, yeah. So he's gonna be so slow on the overworld, but I guess that's fine if he's just kind of sitting and chilling in the castle. So we paralyze Box here, just because Box is, well, as should be pretty evident by this point in the run. Box is very, very fast, or very. It's a good monster, but not for fast speed reasons.
He is fast, or he hits very hard, and he has a slow animation. The two things that we do not want to see when an enemy is attacking us.
Yep. So which one came first, actually, between Duelist and Falsebound?
I'm not sure which one came first. A lot of the soundtrack was also just taken from Forbidden Memories, though.
In fact, a lot of the assets were also taken from Forbidden Memories, too, if I remember right. They basically developed the two games around the same time, so there's a lot of asset reuse. But
okay, so
nice mess.
Falsebound Kingdom was released after Duelists of the Roses.
Oh.
Yeah, Duelist of the Roses was let's see, September 2001. Falsebound Kingdom was December 2002.
So again, another clean fight. And this brings us to the final change to teams in the rest of the run.
We finally get our Lady Ishizu, and more importantly, the Dunamis that she brought with her.
Exactly. So we're going to want to put Dunamis immediately on Kaiba and just kind of say goodbye to Ryu. Which is sad, I know, because Ryu has seen a lot of good missions with us.
But all good things must come to an end.
Not Dark Rabbit. Oh, not Mokuba. But Ryu's still going to get some play on the Pegasus team. And that's the end of team editing for the rest of the run. So
yeah, the Kaiba campaign...
Yep, go ahead.
The Kaiba campaign really just does not give you as many nice tools to use as the Yugi campaign does. And so a lot of our teams are... They feel like a bit random because we're just throwing the best monsters that we can on the team with absolutely no synergy or anything special going on with any of them besides the snake hair having paralysis.
So this is yet another mission where there's 8 marshals and you just kind of avoid 7 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we actually can. So I actually kind of labbed this one out so that it's 9 ticks after it, and you can just kind of get a clean line every time while spending the minimum amount of distance kind of going around that. But for marathon safety, I added another tick or 2, so it's not going to be quite as tight as it is in the speedrun, but in general, this guy we should just be barely avoiding.
Oh no, you're telling me we're losing half a second in a nearly 3 hour long
exactly, yeah.
marathon?
So
how could you?
Oh man. So this is Scott 2. Scott 2 is a pushover, but unfortunately he has Kaiser Dragon, who is slow as an attacker, so we want to get rid of him as soon as possible. Other than that, it's a pretty easy just wear down the HP kind of fight.
This is another case of the nice boss monster, by the way, as well. The Kaiser Dragon, flanked by his 2 parrot dragons, both of which just completely outclass him in every way.
I do like Parrot Dragon, though. It's a shame that it's a dragon and therefore it's never used.
Yep. It even
Oh.
makes a very funny sound when he attacks. Very cool guy.
Okay, so I should have paralyzed Kaiser Dragon there, but I decided I don't know for what reason to paralyze one of the carrots.
Leaving in the crit here.
Yep. So we'll just watch this and just count down the things here. 1, 2, 3, and then eventually you can do stuff again. But Dynamis will make quick work of him with its guaranteed hits because of all of these.
And the Parrot Dragon just decides to break out in one turn because he can.
But it doesn't matter because he missed. Sometimes lucky. I like the Scott Boss theme, actually. It's pretty good.
I do enjoy a lot of the music in this game. It's like, perhaps not all original, but you know, that doesn't make it bad.
Yeah. And the challenge mode music for this game is literally like it's like the Duelist of the Roses like main battle kind of music, I think. So it's the same stuff. But dang, we beat him again. Okay. Surely this is the end.
What? Mokuba?
Somebody else shut up Mokuba? Aw. Dang, we have to fight Yugi or something like that.
Now, Scott just used Mokuba to blackmail us into fighting Yugi. Yeah, the plot in this game is really not that deep.
It's kind of interesting that Kaiba's motivations seemingly change mission to mission.
It's also interesting that Yugi, the king of games, is about to pull off the masterful RTS strategy you're about to see in this mission.
Oh man, yes.
So,
all right. Masterful RTS strategy already accomplished for me. So Yugi is just going to be an RTS god and just kind of advance everything towards the first base. So we'll see him capture the first base with Joey's Panther Warrior team that actually kind of looks cool, but it's like also I think that's like 2/3 of his base game team, I think. So then as they capture that, the next guy comes out. And it goes on and on. Mediocre Jinzo.
And so because Yugi decided that he needs to capture every single base before attacking us, we have all the time in the world to just walk up and slap him.
And just go directly to him and just completely ignore all of these very well-designed thematic teams. We just go straight ahead and go to Yugi, who has spellcasters, as one would imagine Yugi would have. And what do spellcasters
do? The Dark Magician? The ultimate magician, the ultimate wizard in attack and defense?
Oh man, this is gonna be so difficult, man. It's Dark Magician. That guy's good. Was that a double guard?
Yeah. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter in this particular case because, oh man, we critical hit. Oh man, we're so lucky. Surely I can't critical hit twice. Oh geez, you guys, I critical hit twice.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We must be really lucky today.
Ah, it must be. But all kidding aside, our Black Pendants make very easy work out of Yugi's team that would normally be kind of a challenge.
It's
Except
like
for
supposed to be a challenge,
Yeah.
but yeah, it really just isn't because the Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl have a combo attack, which allows them to spend 2 action points each to deal a massive AoE attack to your team. And it does somewhere between like 1,000 to 1,200 damage. Except they're just not high enough level to use it, so instead, Yugi just has a team of 3 random monsters, 2 of which are spellcasters, and we just destroy them.
Yep. So, normally an actually kind of hard fight just turns into a complete cakewalk here. Like, honestly, the Lord of Dragon fight from 3 missions ago now would have been probably a lot harder than this.
Yep. So I believe that at the very least, like, if you play through this as the second campaign or anything other than the first campaign, they will be high enough level to use their combo attack, which would actually be scary. It's just that like I'm not entirely sure if they realized that you can just go to Kaiba first, and then this makes Yugi look like a total clown.
Yep. Meanwhile, Kaiba's just kind of pissed off that we didn't actually beat Yugi. We just kind of pretended to beat Yugi. So he's just kind of complaining about it in back to what the plot is, but...
Yep.
Anyway.
I mean, I suppose that you can argue that, like, Yugi was... It does make sense canonically, because, like, Yugi, threw for us after Pegasus told him that Scott has Mokuba, but
so
I don't know.
So Yugi is in this central base, and the gimmick of this level is you're under a very strict time limit, and you have to capture this base and get Yugi before the guards quote unquote find him. However, we're speedrunners, and we're not going to do that. So what instead we're going to do is we're going to capture this top base, set up RTS wise so that Pegasus goes to the front base here that has a cannon, and in doing this, the two enemy monsters that are right there and there just kind of go in the middle and just completely ignore everything. Doing this saves an encounter with, I believe, that Wing Eagle team. I don't remember the last time I did this without that strat, but in general, it saves a lot of time and it looks really cool. Probably the coolest RTS thing that you're going to see in this campaign, if not the entire game.
Yep, and Graceful mentioned that this mission has a very strict timer, which by the standards of this game is true, but we still have plenty of time to just bum rush Scott, and, well, that's exactly what we do. And yeah, we just have Pegasus eat the cannon so that Kaiba doesn't have to go around it.
Yep, because otherwise Kaiba would be directly in the range of that cannon and would have gotten hit there. But since there's no ammunition in the cannon, we just skate through scot-free. And speaking of Scott, here he is.
Wow.
Scott 3.
Now, he does have a little bit of a cheater team here, as Cosmo Queen is a fusion monster, and thus you cannot normally just put her on the team. For some reason, though, he decided that Cosmo Queen would be the best fusion to put on his team, and well, I suppose Big Hurry Box will show us why that is incorrect.
Because Cosmo Queen, once again, spellcaster. And so, of course, critical hits, as one totally plans, which means that we can just hit once, and then just waste Cosmo Queen's turns with doing nothing but healing. So for this second part, I'm gonna actually focus on Cosmo Queen. Gonna paralyze the Barrel Dragon, and miss naturally.
So this is where the times for chance to dodge when your guarding comes in. These barrel dragons are holding an item called Deal of Phantom, which gives them plus 10 to their luck stat, which is a hidden stat in this game. And essentially it means that like they have an additional 20% chance to dodge attacks while guarding and 5% when not. It also affects crit chance and chance to break out of paralysis. So these barrel dragons end up actually being kind of annoying. But, well, thankfully Cosmo Queen is not.
It just goes 1-2 hits and then it's gone.
Yep.
The barrel dragons will do stuff. Again, their Deal of Phantom gives them a little bit extra onto their luck stats, which is kind of annoying, but...
Is this the third fight in a row where we have an ace monster flanked by the two supporting cast who are both scarier than it?
I'd love to say that, but we are talking about Barrel Dragon here. It's kind...
I mean...
There's better than Barrel Dragon. There's better. But yes, you're right, like, they do have Deal of Phantom.
They have Deal of Phantom, and that makes them scarier than the Cosmo Queen.
I mean, technically Tao the Chanter would be scarier than Cosmo Queen if it had Deal of Phantom.
Probably.
But only just. Oh look, we got Mokuba back. And he was never seen from again.
Shut up, Mokuba.
Shut up, Mokuba. Okay. So we're into the final 3 missions here. These 3 missions are shared between the Kaiba and Yugi campaign. So regardless of which one you play, you will be playing these 3 missions. I don't know, I guess the devs kind of ran out of time to make non-unique missions. So for here again, I'm gonna do the base blocking again. So yes, indeed, 4 AP on Kaiba, who has very Yugi-like orbs. I'm just kind of setting this up so that once I get to the base, I can just kind of mash it and then immediately send it.
Yeah, so the orb colors of the monsters will gradually change to match the martial that they're on. Which, like, every time you enter a fight or kill a monster, you'll get it to, like, go closer.
Nice little bit of RTS dodging right there.
Yep.
Guaranteed every time.
You might have noticed that Bikuri Box was the only one that really matched Kaiba. And yeah, he's the one who's been stealing all the kills, that goddamn kill stealer.
Absolute menace that Bikuri Box is. So we just kind of do that there, and then we just go take care of Odeon, who has a very familiar looking team.
Strange. One might even say deja vu.
Yeah. So this team has exactly the same, like, basically fight script that you dealt with the first Scott team. So pretty much you just focus on the snakes, leave Sarakid in the middle to just kind of do his thing. So we are attacking into guard here, but that's okay because not only does it break the guard, but we should be able to kill the other one with box here. And of course we do. Then we'll just attack that one again. Knock it into healer range so it uses red medicine. Gets a full heal, but it's all good. We have enough AP to just kind of outlast whatever he can throw at us here.
Now, when you fight this in New Game Plus, so every campaign in this game can be played multiple times, and it'll allow you to reuse your monsters and like continue leveling them, all that stuff. And the enemies will also be scaled up depending on how many campaigns you've played through. So at higher levels, this Circuit will unlock his special, which allows him to burn 2 AP to buff his attack by 1000. If you think this is terrible, you would be right. This guy maxes out at 4 AP at max level, and sometimes the AI just presses the special twice and is then out of actions and cannot do anything. It is absolutely hilarious.
Okay, so now we're stuck into one of the longest missions in basically any category here. And that's Dream World. Dream World is just... I don't know what good things to say about Dream World here. Because I can't think of any. It's this long, expanding level that you have to navigate your monster basically across most of the stage. And it takes forever.
And there are walls.
And there's
which
walls.
do nothing but make the mission longer.
Exactly.
Now, it is possible to clip through some of these walls. If you have a sufficiently large hitbox on your character, then like essentially this the hitbox collision with the walls does not correspond to the circle that you have like for each character, because there are some circles which are so big that they just would not be able to move around if it was. And therefore, some of the monsters with really big circles are able to go like significantly past the walls with their circles. And it is far enough that you can enter and exit bases. Yeah.
So this particular base, you can actually, with those really big monsters that Goat was describing, you can actually send the monster from there directly to like right at the edge here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will get out of the base like through that wall.
Yeah, but of course,
and
like
the same will work
with how much time it would take to send the enemy just all the way over there. It's just not worth it as far as the speed run is concerned.
Yep.
So we don't do it.
The one category where maybe it could save some time is all monsters, all monster portraits, in which you would have to take that base in order to unlock Alpha, I think on the Yugi side.
Yes, on the Yugi side. Or is it Beta? I remember there was one of the Magnet Warriors where they like put the wrong one in, and you just get, but you do get the correct Magnet Warrior, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't remember which one either, but
yeah.
At any rate, doing that would let you skip 2 fights, the 2 fights that are in the base that we're currently fighting. And so it would actually maybe have some use for that run, but it is unclear whether that's actually faster. Like, we have not tested this yet.
But it's always funny to... It's funny to see, though.
Yeah. And a large part of the reason why is because in order to do the skip, you would need to use Red Eye's Black Metal, which just isn't used in the speedrun currently.
No. Even though you do get... So, I actually forget where Metal Morph was. It's in Yuki campaign, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. Was it like...
Was it a secret power item? It might have been.
That's what I was thinking. There were a lot of things that were, like, from that shoddy mission.
So this is the first of 2 easy fights. Then we have a whole bunch of movement ahead. The first little stretch there, just getting to this base, was, I believe, one of the places I used for bathroom breaks in like the all monster portraits run. So that just kind of shows just how long you have just to wait. Like we're talking minutes.
Yeah. Alright, so Metal Morph is acquired in Yugi Mission Break Free, which is Mission 9, so it's actually quite early.
Oh, is it in that south base? It might be.
Maybe.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Because you go through there, you go get the Harpy Lady in the desert, and then basically you just kind of swing back to get that Metal Morph.
You just, yeah, swing back by 2 of them.
Breaking out of paralysis to immediately wait. Perfect.
The AI in this game is very smart.
Flawless AI, honestly.
Would never just pick a random button to press.
What's our teams looking at? Yeah, we're fine. We're fine for the next one.
Scott, when he pulls out the supercomputers and just gives them a bunch of random, like the teams on these this mission are like just so bad, man. They're not even stronger than like the stuff we fought on like Dragon's Lair.
So this one's
that
kind
guy
of
doesn't
cool
even have
just because like Red Eye's Black Metal Dragon, that seems kind of cool at level 40. Problem is, it's only 2 monsters. I guess they had to balance it. This one is just like the team shoulder pads.
I mean, at least they have a theme.
Okay,
I
so there's
suppose.
a couple of interesting optimizations we can do with that. If you move a cursor this way, it's slower than if you move it this way. So basically what we do here is we just kind of line ourselves up, place the cursor in the spot the monster is expected to go, and then just kind of wait to see A.
For that downwards move,
Except you're not on.
I think like there were I've had some instances where I just Z-menued to like the bottom right base and it hugged the wall and just kind of went like down. I'm not entirely sure how the speed worked out, but that felt like quite efficient to me.
And there we just kind of wait until Kaiba gets online with the top right base, which we have to do that. I think this is probably my least favorite part of RTS in this game, just because every single time you do it, you have to just slowly go around like that. If somebody finds something that breaks this wall and just lets me use Z mode, oh man,
Yeah, they literally included this bend just to troll you.
Pretty much, yeah. So what was the last team there? Oh.
I think.
Oh, it's just the Machine King team, but worse.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and I guess Gate Guardian.
Gate Guardian is, well, Gate Guardian is a team which is another triple fusion, but unlike the Blue Eyes or the Magnet Warriors, the three pieces as well as the Gate Guardian are completely different orb colors. So these guys are like, without fail, just bad. The different orb colors makes it so that it's practically impossible to get like all three of them, as well as the Gate Guardian, to match any Marshal. And so, yeah, you just like end up with guys who are sitting here maxing out at like 4 AP, not really having particularly great stats otherwise anyways, and they just don't get to benefit from, like, you know, all these extra stats that we've got going on from the Marshal bonuses, like with the Curry Box getting its extra AP and, you know, hitting like a truck.
Okay, guaranteed past the Gate Guardian fusion risk, but now it's just kind of like you just slowly whittle down HP.
Yep.
Might have been some merit to just waiting until and letting Box do his thing there, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I like waiting out and just letting Dynamis guaranteed get rid of it. And with that, we are coming up on the final mission of the game. So we'll eventually be dealing with one of the biggest trolls in the entire game for the final battle. But first, we just have a very kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of boring fight with Scott to just kind of go through first.
I guess I do have a fun fact for this fight. As I mentioned before, Scott, or like, when you've played through multiple campaigns in this game, enemies are supposed to level up with the number of campaigns you've completed. They just forgot to do that with Scott in this mission. If you replay the game, he stays at this level and he's just like a complete bum.
Gonna summon a dark spirit called Skull Knight, I guess.
I suppose if there's one thing he did right, Skull Knight actually is probably the ace of this team.
Normally, I would agree with you here. However, Skull Knight is a spellcaster. And
Yep.
You know what happens with spellcasters, right? After we paralyze one of the two Serpent Knight dragons, Box steps up to the plate, hits him, and basically nearly one-shots him. Yeah, okay. So this is what we'll do there. Break per... okay. Or just miss. How cool of an attack name is Shatter, by the way?
Pretty good.
That's pretty good, actually. So an important note about time. Time would come up at the end of the mission reward screen that happens after a brief cutscene for this. So So of course I'll say time whenever it comes up. It's not yet, but just a little bit of a heads up, it's coming up in the next couple minutes.
Okay, and so now Scott finally reveals what his master plan was all along. The reason why he did all this was he wanted to trap our souls in this game to sacrifice to, well, summon a god. And, well,
What a
guess we'll
waste.
see. Guess we'll see just how well that goes for him.
And the final
look, it's
boss of
Nightmare.
who the heck is this guy is Nightmare. Who summons Slifer, the executive producer?
Oh no, it's a god! Whatever will we do? Yeah, so for the god fights in this game, the gods are the slowest monsters in the game, and they will always go last, so they're just not hard.
However, this one can be a very decent troll job if it breaks out of paralysis or if it doesn't get paralyzed. But
Yep.
in general, this is a fairly easy fight. You just press you just press A until the monster runs out of HP. Okay, so it broke out, but it's using its A move, so it's only going to attack one of the monsters here, which is fine.
So the thing with Slifer is that he has a Z move, which both hits in an AoE and drops the attack of everything hit by 2000, which is actually really scary. But because of how escape works, you can always just get out of the fight after that. And yeah, like, really just isn't too much of an issue there. The reason why he broke out of paralysis on turn 1, though, the gods all have...
the double. Ooh, guard. Shit.
Yeah, so the gods all have a very high luck stat of...
I don't think I can really do anything with guard.
Yep. You would... Yeah, I mean...
It just zeros.
You would need a crit to break it. Yeah, so... Because the gods have such a high luck stat, they actually have like a 40% chance to break out of paralysis in one turn. And we just saw that happen twice, so... that is unlucky, but... Yeah, the gods are just very lucky. So that kind of thing is going to happen.
So now we just kind of go back to pressing A to hopefully win. See if it holds paralysis.
And one strat that we are not using for this fight is, because of how slow the gods are, it is always possible to just attack twice and then escape, and they will never get a turn to do anything.
Okay, so we survived one.
Which is what makes these guys, like, actually a total joke of a boss fight. Of course, if you do that, then you have to go in and refight him many times, which is very slow, so we don't do that in the speed run.
Yep, we basically just kind of... Oh, well, nice mess.
And thankfully, in the run back, he decides not to break out of paralysis and gives us a clean finish.
A totally clean finish, an uneventful god that was totally not potentially eventful. So, okay, that's Slifer. So after a bit of dialogue here, that time will be coming up fairly soon. Just be ready on time. Ooh.
This was some very Kaiba dialogue,
time.
by the way. Very in character for Kaiba.
All right, so that was an okay run. I can't really see
what's your PB?
Can't really see the stream there, but timer I was also taking was 2:48 on my end. My
Okay.
my PB is a 2:44, so ever so
Pretty
slightly
close.
slower, but it's pretty close. So
Yeah.
that's about what you want for a marathon run, anyway. I did mention that if I finished a little bit early of estimate, I could show off like just a really quick challenge mode run. Moderators, if you're around, yay or nay, it's about 7 minutes is what the estimate is. If you want to move on, I totally understand. All right, we're going for it. I see it there in the comments.
All right. So we will finally be able to see what kinds of things you can unlock when you get high-level monsters in this game.
Exactly. So this is definitely not the this is definitely not a run in the spirit of the competition. This is a very, very short run. Very, very short run for a very, very long-a-thon. Sure. Let's give Yugi some screen time.
Alright, so while Graceful's looking for his monsters, I'm just gonna give the brief rundown of what the strat is. So Dunames, who you've seen quite a lot on the screen already, also has level 5 magic, which means that it can use every magic in the game. And magic is very broken. So what we equipped on the Dunames is 2 Raimis, which will paralyze the entire enemy team. And you might remember that you saw Dunames going first a lot, because the Dunames is one of the fastest monsters in the overworld. One of the fastest monsters in combat. And so basically we will always get to go first and just fully paralyze the enemy team. And then the other 2 monsters are the Battle Guards, and we're choosing these guys because they have a very fast combo. The animation is like 8 seconds or something, whereas the rest of them are like 15 to 20.
Alright, so I'm not exactly sure if there's a timer going, but I am going to start relatively soon, so I'll give you like a 3-second countdown. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, and yeah, as you will see, the strategy is very simple. We just paralyze the enemy team and then we blast them. And I suppose the other item that Dunames has on her is an AoE heal for the team, because magic is balanced in this game. Remember how the enemies kept on using red meds and wasting our time? What if we could do that on all 3 of our monsters in one action? And we had 3 copies of it. What a good item. But yes, no, we just grabbed one of those for marathon safety.
Okay, so slightly different items from what I'm used to, but it should be around the same for what we basically what I'm expecting for the first couple of missions. Okay, occasionally they get turns. I like to say that the challenge mode run, which is what this is the only run where you can basically only lose time. At least as far as this game is concerned. You can't really earn time, you just lose it. So
there really isn't a whole lot of skill expression going on here. We're just blasting them and hoping that they don't like break out of paralysis.
Yeah. So this is probably one of the main areas where resets happen. Oh, A is Gifted Mystical Elf. Okay. Well, misplay right there. Yeah.
And we have just outplayed the opponents with a crit there.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of needing another special to win, we were able to just smack her with the A button, which is a faster animation.
So in this mission, we get two of the monsters who are potentially faster than Dunamis in Dragon Zombie and Armored Zombie. Both of them are ritual monsters that require a specific item in the campaign to go and unlock, and occasionally Armored Zombie paralyzes. But that's okay, because we just go blasting.
Yep, and yeah, we've been seeing some time loss due to the enemies just going before Dunamis, which, you know, Dunamis is one of the fastest monsters in the game, tied with Karibo and only behind Moisture Creature. But, you know, unfortunately, RNG exists, and that means that we just will be seeing her get outsped sometimes.
Okay. So normally in record attempts, instead of having Gift of Mystical Elf, we just have like Hinotama, just because it's faster than any kind of attack animation that Dunamis does. So for marathon safety, we attack Red Eyes.
Yeah, so we finally were able to equip Sword of Dragon Soul. Now that we have access to most of the items in the game in challenge mode, and so it's possible to lose a lot of time if the enemies fuse. And so Graceful adopted a strategy where we use the Sword of Dragon Soul to always crit into the Red Eyes, which will drop it low enough that it will always die to a special, because these combo attacks cannot miss. And the Sword of Dragon Soul is also potentially useful for Marathon safety in this fight, as just like before, they're currently at an HP where if we hit the special, all of them would like drop into fusion range without dying. So we just smack one of them to make sure it dies, and we do not see a Blue Eyes ultimate.
And therefore no decent amount of time loss. But yep. So anyways, with that, we're coming up to the final mission, the final battle of challenge mode, which is basically just Yugi, but the same Yugi team that we have here. However, we don't have our black pendants. So it's a little bit...
And he also is high enough level that he can actually use his combo attack.
So
crazy how much
attack just gets done right there by the battle guard, and then it's just back to Barbarian double impact.
That one attack put all three of them into the range to die to 2 hits. The Dark Magician otherwise would have been a damage roll for 2 combos to kill.
Ow. But okay. So it should hit all 3 of them, and assuming it does, time will be coming up relatively soon.
Combo attacks cannot miss, so it is always guaranteed to hit all 3, and then time will end when the congratulations show up.
Oh, okay. Alright. And that was basically challenge mode. The really, really shortest speed run in the really, really longest marathon. So that's basically all we had to show off here, so...
the timer should have ended at 6:13.
6:13. Okay, that's yes. Actually a fairly good for just completely like no preloading kind of thing, nothing like that. So that's actually a pretty good time. I think it was actually faster than my no reset run. But anyways, that's all I had. Topgoat, do you want to say any closing remarks? Anything to plug or anything?
Remember to join the Discord, guys.
Absolutely. So there is a link to the Discord on my Twitch account, twitch.tv/gracefulshutdown, all one word. It's just in the social links area. It just says like Faslebound Kingdom Discord or something like that. Anyways,
Yep.
really good group of guys that we got over there. Lots of fun stuff for this game that's here. And with that, yeah, thanks to really Longathon for having us on, and stay tuned for the next run. Later, gamers.
Goodbye.